Hi, I'm Penny Power. Great pleasure in being able to introduce myself to you. I'm going to explain a little bit about myself, and then I'll talk about some of the talks that I do, and I hope you feel a bit familiar with me and comfortable with me. So I'm 55, so I was a baby boomer. I went into the IT industry when I was 19, accidentally, but I was able to develop a very interesting career there in sales and marketing. I always have a story about how I developed relationships in business, because I'm very emotionally driven and I do believe in long-term relationships. And that did bring me to the idea that I had, which took me into my entrepreneur experience, which I refer to as an accidental entrepreneur, because it really was an idea, but was I ready actually to build what became a global business with massive expectations of me and my husband. Ecademy was the world's first social network, so it predated LinkedIn by 4 years, Facebook by 6, and Twitter by 8. It was born when there was MySpace and Friends United, but nothing for business owners. I created it because I knew the world was going to get lonelier, and I thought, wouldn't it be nice if business people could connect as friends? And over 14 years, we built a phenomenal culture, a beautiful community, and we're very proud of it. We had massive financial adversity in doing that, and we had quite a challenge when it came to quite an abrupt end, which is part of the story of tenacity and resilience. I have been blessed with a massive purpose in life, always about connecting people. Family values are incredibly important to me. And so I love to talk about culture. I love to talk about community. But I also love to talk about the individual and how they build their brand within that, and how they take personal responsibility. In 2009, I wrote a book, Know Me, Like Me, Follow Me, which became a bestseller. But actually in 2019, at the beginning of it, I launched probably my proudest experience, which is a book called Business is Personal. And it's about mental fitness, really, and it's about taking personal responsibility for really understanding yourself. This has been a really interesting experience for me. I've spoken for over 20 years all over the world, mostly to entrepreneurs, although I've been hired by BT and Smith & Nephew and many other corporates, British Airways, to talk to their staff too. But what this really has happened to me over the last year, which is very exciting for my speaking career, is that I've had a massive amount of corporate engagements where I've gone to conferences, and I've been given permission to talk about my journey to corporate employees, because it really is relevant to them. I talk about the mask we wear and how important it is for us really to start to live in our truth. And companies are changing. The millennial generation coming in is definitely changing a culture. Leadership's being challenged by the massive amount of demands put on them. I mean, when you actually consider, when I started in business in the 80s, we really were only thinking about organizational productivity and profits, and now we've got CSR, and we've got sustainability, and we've got this need for people to have purpose, we've got equality, we've got inclusion, and now this layer of mental fitness and mental health. I have a wealth of experience around business, both employed and for the last 22 years in the entrepreneur space. I now spend my life really helping business leaders, and also doing my public speaking, which is my great joy. It's my flame. I think the feedback I get after it really speaks to the way that I seem to be hitting a sweet spot. I think people find it very important to understand that adversity happens to us all. We as a family have been through a massive amount of adversity, and we as a family have been through financial adversity as well. But we remain happy together, and I remain a very positive person. And I think the message that people get seems to have impact. I get a lot of feedback, which is very beautiful. It does create emotion. I take a bit of on a roller coaster, but it's very human. I don't follow a script, but I do provide slides if that's required. I do afternoon talks, I do morning talks, after dinner talks. I've given out awards. I guess my O.B.E that I was awarded in 2014 is a real privilege. it's something I talk about a little bit, because the interesting thing about that is that no matter how much external validation you get, somehow it's the internal validation that matters in terms of our happiness. So I hope that's given you a little bit of an insight, and maybe I'll meet you one day, and thanks for listening to me.